sitting in that chair. We out here, baby. You say get with V-Chain, ha, but they ain't got no standards. My mama done raised me better to be messing with you without standards.
Hello, my beautiful OriginTrail pioneers. I hope you guys are ready to dive into today's topic. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest partnerships in crypto, undoubtedly so. I'm very excited to dive into this topic because it's something that we, I guess, are expecting to hear more from, as alluded to by the OriginTrail general manager. Today, we're going to be talking about the revolutionary news that has already been dropped, but just requires a little bit more context to see how great, magnificent, and beautiful it is. Guys, if you enjoy this type of content coming out from the chill zone, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit that little bell so you stay up to date with the latest and greatest chill zone content. But you know what? Let's dive right into what we want to talk about. Today, we're going to be talking about OriginTrail and BSI. Now, BSI is an insanely massive organization. We will be getting into some facts and figures later on, but first we're going to go through the history, progress nicely through where we came from with BSI and where we are going in the future. Now, we all know the initial connection that got OriginTrail and BSI together. You know, we see Branimir looking all dapper, Ziga, everybody here with Dan Pertel, Innovation Director at BSI. Now it says OriginTrail develops blockchain-enabled solution. BSI, the business standards company, has partnered exclusively with OriginTrail to deliver blockchain-enabled solution that will enhance its global assessment, certification, and supply chain services to confirm the provenance of goods and or the integrity of digital records or services. The first thing of value that the OriginTrail community really went insane over was our first witness when we saw the Instruments of Trust white paper released by BSI. Now, what this entailed was 3 case studies built utilizing the OriginTrail decentralized network, which allowed for BSI to expand their services in basically 3 areas. The first being proof of standards ownership, the second being the SCAN Trusted Factory blockchain program, and the third being training certificates, proof of credentials. Basically, you're able to prove that you have these credentials via the OriginTrail decentralized network. Now, today we're really going to be focused on SCAN, as the history of this is greatly tied to what is coming and what has already come. Now, the SCAN Trusted Blockchain Program is a very interesting implementation. It says SCAN importing members have a combined annual sale of 1.25 trillion USD and sourced from factories around the world. Today, SCAN has more than 1,800 factories in the SCAN database, and the program's popularity has grown internationally. Now, we've covered this before. Now, this is really an association or conglomerate of America's largest importers and manufacturers. This alone should have sent people crazy. We're talking about Walmart, Target, Home Depot, the biggest names in America that you know and love today. In fact, you can listen to the Director of Innovation at BSI talk about this as well, but hear him talk about OriginTrail, BSI, and the Department of Homeland Security.
In terms of verified digital trust systems, really, the SCAN use case came from a DHS, a Department of Homeland Security, open solicitation call where they were looking for using blockchain technology as different instruments of trust within global supply chains. And, you know, what I saw a lot of, we were one of the 15 finalists, SCAN, BSI, in OriginTrail, was a lot of the what, you know, products that were entering the supply chain and different duty classification, duty that was due, harmonized goods classification. So, you know, we can actually, you know, blockchain a tuna fish, but we know very little about that person that's on the boat that's actually harvesting that. And are they socially compliant?
So essentially, This Scan Trusted platform allows all these various data viewers, government bodies, entities, manufacturers to scan the OriginTrail decentralized network for information, audit information, allowing them to stay compliant and stay up to date with the latest and greatest by these various government bodies that may have these different requirements and stipulations. In terms of the scan use case, it's important to understand that this is ongoing. This is active. This is live. This is being used and loved. Let's hear an update from Ken McElroy at Home Depot. A message from the vice chair. The upgrade by BSI and Scan to blockchain the audit result details gives members a large leg up on developing your annual risk assessment and also in providing audit details in a concise and organized format if a foreign validation or revalidation is scheduled. The QR code on a submitted report can be scanned and used to determine the validity of the audit report. Of course, the blockchain brings data immutability and integrity. Thus, as a result, these entities from all over the world performing audits on their factories or whatever they're performing audits on, they're able to gain the immutability and decentralization components by leveraging BSI's implementation. So it's very important to understand the role of integrators within the OriginTrail decentralized network. Not every entity, not every company will be building directly on top of OriginTrail. They will be building these entities, these organizations, these government bodies, these massive conglomerates will be using the OriginTrail decentralized network via our partners like BSI, like One Agric. So once you understand our adoption strategy, you can see how we plan to onboard massive amounts of organizations in such a small amount of time. As you can see here, we have our certified auditors implanting information into the proprietary databases, which then acts as a data provider to the OriginTrail decentralized network, uploading full reports. And these data viewers are then able to view 10 key audit points via the OriginTrail decentralized network, creating this sort of global decentralized network of verifiable data for these organizations to leverage. Very powerful, very precise, and very needed. And as the director of innovation himself says, is a first of its kind implementation. There's nothing like this on the market. So over the time, we have seen that BSI is leveraging OriginTrail in unique ways. They're thinking around, they're playing around with decentralized network to see what they can do. Can this protocol really handle the stress, the strain of all the adoption that BSI has to offer? Because trust me, BSI has some adoption to offer. We'll dive into some facts, as again, we'll dive into the facts and figures later. So this leads us to BSI's most recent update, most recent release. This leads us to the pharmaceutical industry, where they are set to revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry with their implementations on top of the OriginTrail decentralized network. Let's begin. Now, BSI did something very revolutionary. They announced BSI Connect and BSI Connect Screen. It's important to understand that these two things are fundamentally different. For example, BSI Connect says, choose BSI Connect audit, incident, and compliance tools to manage operational risk and performance for a more sustainable, resilient organization. And the features for BSI Connect Screen says, our BSI Connect Screen platform infuses geographic risk data and analysis into the assessment process to provide a risk-based view of the supply chain. The enhanced visibility empowers organizations to protect brand reputation and ensure a resilient supply chain through data-driven insight.
BSI Connect Screen, powering supply chain resilience. Be proactive and stay ahead of the latest supply chain risks globally with BSI Connect Screen. Our intelligence team analyze events and provide context so you can run your organization as smoothly as possible. BSI Connect Screen covers more than 50,000 incidents at any time, so you can get instant access to the things most relevant to you. Go a step further with our interactive mapping functionality for a quick worldwide view of potential disruptive events. Apply up to 25 risk ratings to gain a heat map view on the countries and activities to be aware of. Easily visualize disruptions and drill down by country to learn more about the local threats and trends. Access reports and presentations for qualitative insight and trend analysis. And filter custom points of interest for detail of risks near your critical locations. Build on your risk intelligence with our supplier assessment functionality, giving you unmatched visibility into your global supplier base with no limits on number of suppliers. Select the scheme and modules your supply chain needs, from security and business continuity to corporate social responsibility and food fraud. Build custom audits for your supplier assessments using our library of checklists or by creating your own. And set up corrective and preventative action plans to help keep suppliers on track. It's truly a global platform with built-in language capability to translate audits and communications wherever your suppliers are based. And our Risk Builder tool allows you to see risk scores by location alongside insight on big disruptions. Run reports and access full lists of your suppliers. Compare their performance and spot trends. BSI Connect Screen is underpinned by our team of global supply chain experts, and you can use the system to contact them directly to gain insights into building resilient supply chains. Through the infusion of supply chain intelligence with your supplier assessment results, you get a complete view of opportunities, vulnerabilities, and overall performance to make resilient supply chain decisions. BSI Connect. Resilience through insight.
Now, it is important to understand BSI focuses on various sectors, but as it relates to the BSI Connect screen, we're going to be focused on the pharmaceutical sector because, to be honest with you, the pandemic, COVID-19, vaccines, they are the limelight right now. It's one of the hottest things humankind has seen because of the issues caused by the COVID pandemic. So let's see how BSI Connect screen comes into play in the pharmaceutical industry. And to do that, we're going to be looking at the global vaccine distribution best practices released by BSI. But first of all, let's also take a look at the vaccine challenge. This says the drug and vaccine distribution visibility and risk management have long raised significant issues. Once again, we are seeing the fact that entities, organizations care about risk because along the supply chain, there may be various inefficiencies that allow for black markets to appear. So it's important that these entities know where their stuff are in the supply chain. What's happening at this point in supply chain, at this point in time, at this day with this person. They need to know. With global vaccination for COVID-19, the challenges are greater than ever. Vast demand for vaccines worldwide, coupled with constraints in qualified transportation availability, and is placing intense ongoing pressure on the pharmaceutical industry and its funding partners. If you guys were paying attention to the vaccine rollout initially, you would understand that these vaccines needed to be kept at a certain temperature, and there were not a lot of vehicles or transportation to meet that demand, the global demand of so much vaccines that need to be sent in such a short space of time. So it creates this amount of pressure on organizations to ensure that they are up to par. So BSI created a solution to address all the issues in the global vaccine distribution issue. They're creating a platform for pharmaceutical companies to gain deeper insight into their vaccine distribution, and not just vaccine distribution. Remember, this is a complete and total solution. So we're not just talking about tracking vaccines, we're talking about also looking at your medical devices in their transport process. We're talking about looking at every part of the pharmaceutical supply chain, every component that goes into it. This platform basically covers a very wide range But of course, we're looking at vaccines today. From the perspective of this paper, I just want to dive a little bit into what it says BSI Screen is. It says, BSI Connect Screen is an integrated platform that employs a risk-based approach to supply chain risk management programs. Now, again, we're talking about risk, but we have seen this before. It targets the biggest global supply chain threats to help organizations inspire trust and build resilience through data-driven insight. Our platform contains the largest proprietary global supply chain risk intelligence database that analyzes more than 20 risk ratings in over 200 countries. By infusing geographic risk data and analysis into the assessment process, organizations can track compliance and risk throughout the supply chain to maximize visibility. My beautiful, beautiful, sexy OriginTrail pioneers. Where have we seen geographic risk data being employed to help bring safety, security, and transparency to the global supply chain? We have seen this already being leveraged in a similar way by the Department of Homeland Security, but just for different reasons. Let's take a look at Yuri, the general manager, discuss how these things come together and why it's such a beautiful solution. He explains exactly how this is being done with the Department of Homeland Security and BSI.
There was a little QR code on the bottom of the report. So when a scan authorized member or a government agency would scan the QR code and verify that they have access, for example, this is what they would see. So this is now a sample audit report that was secured on the OriginTrail decentralized network. And how it works, it usually takes some time to load because it's reading directly from the ODN node. But what do the so scan members or authorized government agencies see? They can see who the security audit was made for, done for whom, and by which audit company, what is the current status of the report. And of course, they can see then the meat of the report, which is really the key indicators, key audit indicators and scores in terms of different security categories. So they can see what the overall score is. They can see how that particular factory actually scored in different security categories and how it actually performed. So there's a benchmark how it performs compared to an average. For example, in this case will be China, or they can check globally how that particular factory performs as compared to other aggregate average of other factories. And these are kind of the key risk indicators that they can look at. And here they can also see the geographic risk overview. This is what Dan also touched upon briefly before, that is coming from Screen. This is a solution from BSI that focuses really on kind of providing that visibility on supply chains, essentially, that is related to where the factory lies. So in this case, for example, is China. And we can see there is an assessment around the supply chain terrorism and unmanifested cargo introduction. So the interface provides a bit of a broader context than just simply the audit points.
So we're working our way through this. You are seeing the similarities or the progression of the BSI and OriginTrail relationship basically play out in real time. We're seeing them go from testing all these different case studies, these different implementation, and even though these different testings and case studies actually did lead to real adoption, like the SCAN network, I mean, come on, that's absolutely massive. We're also seeing them now expand into the pharmaceuticals, but more than just doing case studies, they're releasing full-blown production-ready implementations. And this, my friends, is very, very exciting for the OriginTrail, the future of OriginTrail. So you've read this NGO paper and then you see BSI Screen, you see BSI Connect Screen Edge. You're like, what the hell is BSI Connect Screen Edge? Or what, is there BSI Connect Screen Blunt? Get it? Like blunt edge, a blunt edge? I guess you were thinking blunt, right? No, not that blunt. I wasn't thinking that. Anyway, so let's take a little bit of a reading on BSI Connect Screen Edge. It says, BSI Connect Screen Edge, Our supply assessment software infused with the latest intelligence, BSI Connect Edge, can be adapted to monitor and mitigate risk and provide clear line of sight across your supply chain. This tool provides one comprehensive view for your supply chain that takes into consideration geographic and supplier compliance and risk exposure, empowering you to build a more resilient supply chain. So I was like, well, damn, BSI, show your stuff. But really, what's BSI Edge? And I don't know what else is there, because it seems to me like there's BSI Connect, BSI Connect Screen, and then BSI Connect Screen Edge. What else is there? Well, you need to understand that BSI Connect is actually a subscription-based model. It's a subscription. So, and there are different tiers to that subscription. So here we look at the BSI Connect Screen comparison table. And as you can see, we have the features of news, intelligence, and edge. There we go. You should be starting to see this come together now. It's like, so BSI Connect News gives you these capabilities. BSI Connect Intelligence gives you these additional capabilities. And BSI Connect Edge is basically like BSI's flagship product that's going to be used by real people, real organizations, and I would say more so for government bodies and really massive. This one is really like super large scale because you're looking at geographic risk on a global level. It's not like your little, oh, let me check to see what this dude just stole some vaccines from the CVS pharmacy down my street, you know, like they don't care about that. We're talking about national. So this is pretty massive. This is pretty big. When you start realizing how many pharmaceutical companies actually rely upon BSI, my friends, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I want to take my clothes off. So when we head back over to the vaccine paper, we now understand what's meant by BSI Connect Screen Edge. But it makes you question, how in the hell is BSI suddenly able to provide this level of trust and transparency in the pharmaceutical supply chain when this has been something that's been needed, required, and desired for so long? How are they now able to do it? Well, let's dive into the why. And it's because of their newly formed and improved Data Management and Analytical Hub. It says, our Data Management Hub is powered by standards-based data interoperability, enabling real-time supply chain visibility and new advanced client applications. The BSI OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph combines the benefits of knowledge graph, digital standards, and blockchain technology. It enables a highly connected and trusted way of maintaining certificates, training records, supply chain events, and inventory records for distributed products based on, here is the magic word, my guys, and honestly, I just want to take some time to pause right here for dramatic effect, because this is something we've been talking about for so long on this channel, and to see it validated finally by BSI at an international and global level, to know that this one-of-a-kind solution is finally real, that we are finally able to produce unit level product identifiers and have it production ready for traceability and transparency and all the goodness, is just mind-blowing. So I repeat, and inventory records for distributed products based on unit level product identifiers such as GS1 GTINs, allowing for global product traceability correlated into patient utilization data. This is a pain point for DSCSA. Remember, unit level traceability is a requirement of the US FDA. It is something that they have been trying to bring. They want to know how to get this done in a low cost way. Now you're starting to see why the US FDA would be interested in OriginTrail. Why would they care to show up at the OriginTrail public meeting? Well, this is why. We had the technology, the one-of-a-kind implementations that can get the job done. But hold on, there's more. We need to take our time with this baby, you see? Because in 2014, two global pharmaceutical companies in partnership with an NGO pledged to donate and distribute up to 1 billion international units of cold chain pharma product for use in developing countries over 10 years. So what we're seeing here is BSI focusing on their cold chain pharma use case. Now, what is cold chain pharma? Do you think that this means anything? Let's explain the significance of cold chain pharma and why this is such a big deal. Now, in this article released on the 25th of August, 2020, it was last updated in July 26, 2021. So it is to be considered a recent article, okay? This makes sense today. It says the global pharmaceutical cold chain logistics industry isn't like any other logistics market. It's huge, it's complex, and much of the cargo is life-saving, literally. Valued this year at $73 billion, the industry of cold chain logistics requires harmonized handling procedures, specific transport equipment, and a high degree of regulatory compliance. My friends, by now these things should be starting to sound very familiar because we've been saying it over and over since the beginning of this video. This is the target market. This is what we're going for alongside BSI. And let's scroll down a little bit more and says, the issues of temperature excursions is crucial to the pharmaceutical companies since many of their products require temperature controlled storage and distribution to maintain the efficacy and other properties. We saw this with the COVID-19 vaccines. If the temperature is not maintained, it may expire. I don't know, get some random side effect that may not have happened, or the vaccine may not have worked at all because it's just not good anymore. In terms of value, cold chain logistics account for more than 26% of pharmaceutical industry in 2019. So once again, we see them talking about the data management hub, and I just want to read this part here because you guys should really go read this yourself. It says, BSI supported by strategic partner Trace Labs also implemented a data management hub based on the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph. The data management hub that we spoke about earlier is based on the OriginTrail decentralized knowledge graph and its underlying blockchains. Remember, we just connected to Ethereum, XDAI. We're gonna be connecting to Polkadot. We just connected to Polygon. This means that BSI is fully aware of our interactions, of our developments. They are working alongside us, powering a solution that enables product authentication, tracks patient utilization, and highlights any diversion and or waste issues. Now let's take a look at organizations that may be interested in such a solution. For example, the G7. This year, the UK has taken the presidency of the G7, Group of Seven, the only forum where the world's most influential and open societies and advanced economies are brought together for close-knit discussions. The seven members of the G7 are the UK, the USA, Canada, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and the EU. Now, if you paid attention, even Bill Gates was talking about how all of these entities are trying to get vaccines out to countries and make sure they get there. Another example of this is good news. Pfizer gears up to supply 1 billion vaccine doses to India in 2021. Approval in final stages. The US-based vaccine maker has revealed that it is in its final stages of getting approval from the Indian government for its COVID-19 vaccine. The company will supply 1 billion doses to India within 2021 once it is approved. Now, to further solidify that, yes, governments, organizations, these big entities will be interested, on BSI's website themselves, it says BSI Connect Screen is used by importers, manufacturers, governments, and associations to quantify the risk of supply chain incidents globally. Our unique blend of risk intelligence and supplier audit management tools deliver scalable, flexible, and robust functionality that is leveraged by global security, business continuity, resilience, environmental health and safety, global social responsibility, sustainability leaders, and many more. you may think it's all over, but it's not. We do have one final thing to acknowledge. On the 31st of August, basically 10 days ago, BSI made their move. They had unveiled BSI Connect Screen News subscription. So what is this? If we look back to the same rating, remember we saw BSI News, we saw BSI Intelligence, and we saw BSI Edge. BSI News actually just launched. It says, BSI, the business improvement and standards company, has unveiled Screen News, a new service in the BSI Connect supply chain portfolio, available as a monthly subscription service. BSI News offers unlimited access to supply chain intelligence articles, personalized daily email updates, and special risk reports. With the ability to sort by interactive news filters, and news service will provide organizations with the on-demand insight and visibility needed to better understand global threats and proactively mitigate risk and ensure supply chain resilience. So in my mind, I am seeing that they start off with their full-fledged proprietary flagship solutions, and they are easing the rest of their possible clients into their user base. And with the launch of this going live in the last 10 days, I expect that BSI is ready to start talking and sharing their amazing work. Guys, I am super excited that OriginTrail is at the heart of the future pharmaceutical industry. It's not an if, it's not a but, it's not a maybe. Look at the facts and figures of BSI. Remember, this is not just pharmaceutical. Together, our clients account for 83% of the FTSE 100, 53% of the Fortune 500, 24 out of the top 25 global medical device manufacturers use BSI medical services. My friends, what is brewing here is something that what has happened here has never happened before.
And when you're talking about production deployments into production systems, these things, even at the fastest of paces, right? Just like even if you have a completely packaged solution, before all of this goes through IT boards, architecture review boards, business process approvals, all of these things is just, it takes time, yeah? And say the larger the enterprise is, the more of these processes you have to the more of these hoops you have to jump through. And a lot of things we have, been working in the background to actually, that will probably be now visible also in the next months, is actually getting these things through so that production use systems, not pilots, not proof of concepts, production systems that are used for an entire segment of a business's operation will be deployed. And I think sometimes people underestimate this, the amount of effort that it takes not to build a solution, but to get it through all of these approvals that you can then deploy it. And I think that's if you're not in the enterprise world, that is very difficult sometimes to see. So just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting right now with the going into new sectors. So you were able to read what's happening in the roadmap, but there is much more to it. But if you just focus on the things that are right now in the roadmap, the projects that are now gaining fruition within the healthcare sector, they're covering like majority of the countries in development. So the supply chains of healthcare there, and this is enormous. I mean, there is no benchmark in a comparable industry we're in. By which we could say, so this is similar to that achievement. This is it surpasses everything.
Enterprise, crypto, blockchain, it's never been done before. It's amazing to see that OriginTrail is actually breaking the ground, building groundbreaking technologies alongside BSI. If you guys are excited for the future of OriginTrail, you know what to do. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash that bell button, and stay tuned for the latest and greatest. Because in this channel, we will not be stopping here. We will be branching out into other industries that OriginTrail is applicable to. In the next time, we talk about OriginTrail in 5.
That right there is a USFDA. That right there is a UK. That right there is a millionaire sitting in that chair. We out here, baby. You say get with V-Chain, ha, but they ain't got no standards. My